What's good, everybody? It's your boy Ed0626 back again with another video of Star Wars Battlefront. This game's a little bit older. I just had it in my what do you call? I had it in my on my PS4 storage, so I figured I would figured I'd use it. I thought it was this was a pretty decent gameplay for me, so I hope you guys do enjoy that. I don't even know what map this is, or I don't know the name of it. I just know that I'm somewhere in the desert. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to ask some of you guys a question. You know, whoever views this a question. At what point on YouTube do you realize that you're not doing YouTube for a hobby anymore? You're doing it more as a job. Now, and another thing I wanted to ask you guys was, do you prefer YouTube as a job or as a hobby? I should have asked that first, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, like, at what point do you guys feel like YouTube is no longer a hobby but a job? And do you consider it do you even consider it a job instead of a hobby, or the other way around? Now, for me, in my opinion, as soon as you start getting paid like a decent amount of money, I'm not talking about like a cent on a video. When you get paid a decent amount of money, that's to me when YouTube no longer becomes a hobby. It becomes a job, sort of. So, that's how I feel about it. And with that being said, I've always considered YouTube more of a hobby for me, anyway. You know, me personally. Mostly because when I made this channel way back when, 2011, my buddy, I think I mentioned this before. My buddy Noah had introduced me to YouTube, and I'm like, you know what, this seems like a good hobby to have. And it took me a while to get started, but I got something out. But disregarding all of that, I still said to myself, I still considered YouTube a type of hobby to have, because I didn't have like many friends in school when I first started this stuff, so I couldn't really hang out. I really didn't hang out with nobody and stuff, and I always liked watching YouTube videos and stuff, kind of like a nerd or something. So I mean, that was just me. But so I always, like I said, I've always considered it more of a hobby than a job. But so I always thought that people who want to get big are kind of a little bit way over their heads too, and I'll explain that in a second. Like, with the way YouTube runs nowadays, it's kind of hard to grow. So if you want to get big, you got to put in the effort, and like a lot of effort, and this kind of ties into like the whole YouTube as a job more as a hobby, because now you're trying to bust out videos. Like, I don't feel like people who really want to get big, like PewDiePie or T-Martin big or whatever. However, or anything past maybe 1 million. At that point, I think they're doing. At that point, whether they're getting paid or not, at that point, I think they're using YouTube more of a job, because they want to get big and they're putting all this sort of work into it. But the question at the end of the day is, do they still enjoy what they're doing? Because they're going through hell and high water to make this video good, and worrying about the type of views it gets and so on, and if it's going to attract anyone new. I mean that's not that sounds right. I mean, that sounds like that sounds good, right? To me at that point, I think it's more of a job. You're not. To me, I don't think people could possibly enjoy anything. I think somebody I know and I were having this sort of discussion a couple months ago on Twitter. My buddy Grenade. What Grenade? Where? I ain't talked to him in a minute though. How you doing, Grenade? If you happen to see this video, but he was saying something about how YouTube Red was, it was or something, YouTube Red or something, was gonna at one point require everyone to monetize their videos, and he told me he didn't want to get paid for a hobby. Now, at first I was kind of like, but you're getting paid, but you know, I kind of understood where he was coming from, because the way, like I said, the way YouTube runs now, you know, it's really a shit show, to put it lightly. So at one point someone may have thought of it as a hobby, but now now it's like turning into more of a job more than anything. And you have all these, you know, people who I feel are disingenuous and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Disingenuous, you know, they don't like, they seem like fake. I can't name anyone in particular, but to me, a lot of the people on YouTube, not a lot, but like some people, I listen to them and I pay attention to their mannerisms and stuff, and it just, you know, it doesn't seem fake. It doesn't seem real to me, dude, that they're really feeling that way. But those are the type of people, in my opinion, that, you know, make YouTube more of a job than a hobby. I mean, let's be honest. Does PewDiePie really care? Because he's making millions of dollars. Does he really care that his video, like, does he really care that his videos could be more of a hobby? You know, because now it's a job for him. It's a job because he's making millions of dollars, and you know, to me, I'm kind of iffy on that situation. You know, I really consider, for me, YouTube more of a hobby. But I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this topic in the comments section. So you saw me get that nice, sexy last kill though. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. You know, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you consider taking into account what I just said? And hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Y'all have a good day. Peace out.